Hi, what's up? How you guys doing? Ooh. Okay, all right. Welcome everybody to the NIKO Show. This is episode 22, and we got more fun gaming news and topics to talk about for the next hour. And none other, I'm NikoTheLegend, and I actually have some really great news to talk about that I've accomplished in real life. Before we get into that, you get the philosophy of how it goes in the NIKO Show. If you haven't yet, you can just check it out on the Twitch channel, the YouTube. But usually, what happens is that I just go into a brief summary of what's been going on with my life, and then what games I'm playing, and then we get into the news topics. So, without further ado, let's talk about what's been happening with me. Last week, 6 days ago, I had to get a procedure done on my arm, on my shoulder over here for basal cell skin cancer. Had to get an incision, done at the dermatologist. So now I'm in the healing phase, and I kind of nicked it a little bit today, and it caused it to bleed a little bit. And I'm like, great. So I'm probably back to square one. Now, how am I feeling about the whole situation? I'm doing all right. I'm glad I got the procedure done. It was only $45 with great insurance to get cancer removal, basically. Scrape. I might have to go back and get it done again because it still looks like there's some left over, or maybe it grew back a little bit. I'm not entirely sure how that all works. But if it's another $45 compared to easily over like $1,000 for like ER procedures and done like that, hell, I'll do it any day. But yeah, so we're doing that is happening with me like physically, and then personal training. I'm still studying. Got about a month or less, a little bit less than a month done until I take the test and I'm done and I pass. I get my personal training certification, and then I can get a job at a gym, and which would be great. I have a job waiting for me. The head trainer already knows how everything's going with me, and she's gonna help me out get a job there, and it's gonna be great. Gonna have clientele. Gonna make my own schedule and appointments. I'm gonna be basically self-employed. There's not gonna be any type of the typical everyday job where it's like 8-hour shifts or something, I'm gonna be kind of contractor in a way. I'll only be there when I have clients, but I got to set up the times when I'm available so clients can come in at the time where I can do it. But that's still pretty exciting though. I read. She sent me all the prices for like the packages of how many sessions these people do, how much I get paid for, this and that. And I did the number, I ran the numbers, and it's exciting. It's a good stepping stone in the beginning, and then eventually, it'd be awesome to own my own gym and start training everybody my own way, sole proprietorship. But I read about the negatives or the pros and cons of that, of course. Yeah, there's pros and cons to everything. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. And then what the most latest thing that's happened to me is about a few days ago, I got affiliated on Twitch, which is exciting. So, of course, you can see the donation thing on the page. You see the cheers. You see the subscriptions. So it's very exciting. I'm very happy to accomplish such a task. Even when I wasn't putting it as my top priority, I would have a daily schedule, and I would stream it at a certain time, at night for about a couple hours. But I was streaming the right game. Who would have thought Pokemon would have done it for me, right? Shh. And then, I got my own Discord server, too. If you'd like to join, you'll definitely see the link pop up every 10 minutes. Yeah, it should be popping up here. Yes. But anyway, yeah, it's very exciting news. It's very exciting. I'm very happy about that. And it's it's no thanks to you guys. No thanks to you, but it's all thanks all thanks to the love and support of people who really like NikoTheLegend and have followed me. Although I haven't seen maybe over half the followers that followed me in a while. It's just the common few or the common handful nowadays. But I'm still eternally grateful, and they haven't unfollowed me. They must like something about me, So once again, thank you guys so much, and I'm happy to see where this goes. I'm gonna be happy to see where this goes, and see where the Twitch path takes me. I'm still doing YouTube stuff. Sadly, I can't stream on YouTube anymore, or on both platforms, because now that I'm affiliated on Twitch, possibility of making money on it and all that, Twitch isn't gonna want me to do that. They want me to just stick to Twitch, so I'm going to stick to Twitch. But this video will go on YouTube just like it usually does. So I definitely need to make a video of a YouTube video discussing this whole streaming stuff and all that. Which is a bummer because I like streaming on both platforms, but, you know, I guess you can't just, you know, they just don't get along for some reason. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. But and then let's go into games I'm playing. So games I'm playing is Jade Empire, a great old school BioWare RPG game. Before a game that was well before BioWare's downfall with Mass Effect Andromeda, and a couple others, you know, that you can name. And then been playing that, and then, you know, just been streaming Pokemon Heart Gold. And, you know, we just got done playing Chrono Trigger on the weekend. We streamed that. That was a lot of fun. But Jade Empire, I just played just me, you know, without streaming. It's really nice to take a break from streaming and having people watch you play a game. And, you know, I take my time in these games, of course. I try not to let the stream completely take over the, you know, or the viewers and the followers and the chatters to take over the stream and, you know, tell me what to do. And I try to maintain it. You want to keep in control of your channel. You know, you don't want it to get out of hand and let other people do it for you. No. That doesn't happen, folks. You gotta take hold. And even if they don't like that you're doing something that they wanted you to do, big deal. They're not gonna leave. They're still gonna be there. It just, you know, because you showed that you're able to take them out of their comfort zone. You know, and they'll respect that in the end. It's just, I mean, it's just human. It's just part of the human condition. Come on. But any other games? Not really. Maybe here and there I play some Fable 2 on the Xbox, on the big screen that I have. But really, it's really hit or miss. I watched Rush Hour 2 today earlier, which was really such a funny movie. I think Rush Hour 2 is a more entertaining movie than Rush Hour 1. Now, Rush Hour 1 is really good. I watched that a few days ago, but I definitely didn't laugh as hard as I did in Rush Hour 2. It's such a great movie. So I'll be watching Rush Hour 3 maybe tonight. Just binge watch it, and then I'm gonna binge watch the Friday movies. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Again, I haven't seen those movies in a long time, so I really forgot all the really funny jokes. Unless I'm watching Kung Pao. Kung Pao, I know almost every joke in that movie. It's just such a crazy, stupid, funny movie. But anyway, enough about that. So yeah, that's all that I can mainly talk about NikoTheLegend. All the big things. So, and then of course I'm still doing my short stories, and then I'm going to turn them into a big book and I'll release it on Amazon. If you haven't heard anything about what I'm doing with my books, you can always check out my published work on Amazon. You just type in Nicholas Sorokin. And then the book title is called Need More Lumber. That's Need More Lumber, and it's a good short story for you to get started on the path of NikoTheLegend writing. Really good. And for some reason, this does not want to work. There's supposed to be a link that comes up, but I'm just going to do it again for the Discord server. But anyway, so let's get to the news articles. Appreciate you guys being patient on that. So, like I said, the rest of the time we're just going to be talking about gaming news and all that. I just like to, you know, kind of let you guys know what's going on with me and, you know, things that are happening and not happening and things that I want to do or that I'm accomplishing. Because, you know, it's stuff that we can relate to as well. So, without further ado, let's get on with the show. Some pretty cool stuff today, of course. I mean, I only picked the best, of course. All right, so the first one is a interesting one because it's something like that we can all relate to, and something that I would really like to see. It'd be pretty cool. So the title suggests Kingdom Hearts producer wants franchise to be in Disney parks. You hear that, Disney? You hear that? Quit releasing so many goddamn Marvel and Star Wars movies. So I'd like to reach out to them and discuss this further. Yeah, Michael Eisner, get more money because that's all you want. Kingdom Hearts executive producer Shinji Hashimoto wants the franchise to be featured in Disney parks across the world. During Square Enix's annual shareholders meeting, Hashimoto was asked if a physical crossover between Kingdom Hearts and Disney parks could ever happen. Hashimoto responded by saying it'd be a dream come true. You hear that, Disney? I think you need to get that shit done. As a Japanese person, it's been nothing short of a dream to be able to play something developed by a Japanese creator with Disney, especially the same Disney that owns such properties like Frozen and Star Wars, Hashimoto said. Hashimoto then went to say he even wants to reach out to Disney to make this crossover possible, as he believes it'd be great for the growth of Disney parks since Disney has an increasingly high regard for Kingdom Hearts. I'd like to reach out to them and discuss this further, Hashimoto said. Sales inside Disneyland will certainly contribute to the growth of the customer base. Kingdom Hearts 3 launches on January 29th, 2019. Thank God we finally have a release date, but who knows if it'll get delayed or not. For more on the game, read why switching between English and Japanese voiceovers in Kingdom Hearts 3 is difficult to include right now. Okay. Anyway, so this is pretty exciting. Disney, this is crazy. Disney is so freaking, Disney World is ginormous. There's no way you can experience Disney World in one day. No way in hell. You'd have to make like a good few days trip, or good 3 days at a hotel type trip. And then Disney World or Disneyland is way easier to explore because it's like one part of Disney World. If only it was over here and Disney World was in California. But what does this mean? So, for one thing, we know that Nintendo wants to build a Nintendo park. I'm not entirely sure if it's still happening. That's going to be a thing in Disney. What we do know is that there's going to be a Star Wars themed park in Disney that's being constructed right now. It's going to be awesome. You can just look it up. And then, Kingdom Hearts is something that Disney really likes working with. Disney, for one thing, Disney has been pretty cool working with video game developers. They really have. Especially Capcom and Squaresoft. Capcom has made so many Disney games. It's been ridiculous. And they've all been, a lot of them have been very good. Very good. Now, of course, Lion King is I don't know if that would count as a game because that game's just retardedly hard. But if you remember Aladdin and then the Mickey Mouse games and then, DuckTales, so on and so forth, Chip and Dale. They've made so many Disney shows into video games. And like I said, they've all been really good for the most part. They have very memorable themes. Who would have thought DuckTales would have such a great theme song for the moon? It's insane. But Kingdom Hearts is another thing that I was really surprised to see Disney work with, to have Final Fantasy characters mixed with Disney type characters. It's awesome. But the one thing I'm a little worried about is that Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't have any Final Fantasy characters in it because I guess it's not a cool thing to have anymore, says the guy who made the fucking game. But I don't know. I wouldn't count it out entirely because they've been kind of showing the same thing over and over and just Disney stuff. They've been kind of spoiling a lot. Before we wouldn't get enough and now we get too much. It's like people just can't make up their damn mind. But this would be a great way for Disney and Squaresoft to make money. Square Enix, huge amounts of money. And if they want to do it, I think Disney would be smart to do it. Now, not necessarily building a Squaresoft theme park or Kingdom Hearts theme park, but just have Kingdom Hearts mascots in there. Seeing a Sora walk around or Organization 13. Donald and Goofy dressed up as Kingdom Hearts, their attires and stuff, walking around with keyblades, shields, and wands. Seeing Organization 13. But it would be pretty cool to see Squaresoft have their Final Fantasy characters in it. That would be awesome. But we'll see. Disney's just ever expanding. They just made a huge settlement, or a huge deal, not a settlement, a huge deal with Fox. They now own Fox, by the way, for what was it, over $130 billion or something like that? Something astronomical, holy shit. They finally got the deal. They finally bought out Fox, which is going to be interesting because now Disney owns Disney, of course, Fox, Marvel, and Star Wars. It's just unbelievable, unfreaking believable how much they own. It's really impressive, and then Pixar, of course. So they're going to be coughing up stuff left and right. But I hope that excites you guys a little bit because I haven't been to Disney in a long time. Well, actually, not a long time. I've been to Epcot last year in the fall, but I haven't been actually to to experiencing Space Mountain and Thunder Mountain and all those great rides and stuff. I was just only at Epcot to get the wine festival because that was awesome. By the way, that was really cool. Disney knows how to be an entertaining theme park. They really do. It is seriously, it's one of the best places to be at with a kid. And even on cruise, sorry, there's something in my eye. Okay, so anyway, that's enough about that. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, this is going to be so cool. This is the stupidest thing, but I just like advertising stupid stuff too. Pokemon Go-esque The Walking Dead game coming to mobile devices. Oh no, why? No one cares about this stupid universe anymore. It's been ruined. The Walking Dead is getting a mobile game similar to Pokemon Go in July. As detailed on the game's website, The Walking Dead, Our World is an augmented reality, location-based mobile title from Next Games, which lets players fight zombies anywhere in the world. Oh, that's so cool! That it is. Players collect stashes and find missios and rescue survivors. This is gonna be ridiculous. People are gonna like. Okay, so Pokemon Go was really bad with this, and people invading other people's property and just like catching Pokemon. Can you imagine just like you just wake up in the middle of the night to like a rustle or like some disturbance outside, and some people are like fake shooting zombies and shit in your yard. Like, that's the stupidest thing ever. Just the stupidest thing ever. And then like going to coffee shops, like there's zombies. I'm shooting zombies with my phone. Like, that's just stupid. Like, that's not even. It's not even kid oriented. It's like an adult themed game that only adults should play. Pokemon just has such a better, like, it's such a more attractive type game to play, and everybody knows what Pokemon is. I mean, I would gather that everybody knows about Walking Dead, but everybody knows how crappy Walking Dead is, and I don't think it's gonna be as popular as Pokemon Go was like the first month. Pokemon Go was like an international like phenomenon when it first came out. But a lot of things, it died out real quick because Pokemon Go didn't have anything, no content, nothing in depth. It was like half-baked. And then the servers just like took a dump in the first week because they, for some reason, these developers never know that their game is going to blow up. They just never know. They just underestimate the population. You want to pull another Diablo 3? Fine. You want to do that? Fine. But anyway, let's continue the article. Players can collect and team up with some of the main characters from the AMC show, such as Rick, Michonne, Daryl, and more. The Walking Dead mobile game also. Everybody's just going to team up with Daryl. I mean, come on. It's every girl's wet dream. The Walking Dead mobile game also lets players team up with others to take on weekly challenges. The Walking Dead, Our World will release on July 12th. Blah, 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 blah. The Walking Dead, read about Shane returning for season 9. Andrew Link, okay. Yeah, so if you really still like The Walking Dead, which I don't understand how you can, because it is the worst show I've ever seen in recent times. I think the first 3 seasons was okay. I mean, of course, everybody just gave up on it in the second season. I didn't mind the second season. I kind of liked to see that casual approach that they were doing. But I think, what really killed it was the same repetitious shit. They get comfortable. Some crazy internal stuff happens. And then zombies invade their facility and they have to run away. It's happened like 4 times. I'm like, when are they going to actually have brains? Brains. And actually be in a secure place and just, mind their own. I don't even know. Just make it work. Now, the longest they've actually been in a facility, from my knowledge, is when they were in the jail, in the prison. Because they actually had, they had a garden. They had like supplies and everything. They had a whole system going, and then of course that was short-lived, thanks to a blonde dumbass in the show, blonde woman that fucked it all up, and I'm so glad she's fucking dead now. Anyway, so to the next article. Ooh, this one's pretty interesting too. We all know who Elon Musk is. OpenAI. Elon Musk, he has his own OpenAI, by the way. This guy's a powerhouse. This guy is doing stuff every single day, creating something interesting to talk about. Elon Musk, OpenAI to battle in Dota 2 World Championship video game tournament. So that's the most bizarre shit I've ever heard. 1 second. Okay. So, OpenAI, a research lab co-founded by Elon Musk, has developed a new breed of AI agents that are capable of playing Dota 2. A complex strategy game and 5-on-5 multiplayer franchise. OpenAI's new bots have so far been able to beat amateur and semi-professional teams. Okay, let me just read this. Let me just read this to you again. I know it's hard to see, but just listen carefully. OpenAI's new bots have so far been able to beat amateur and semi-professional teams. Holy crap. With this accomplished, the research lab is now looking to bring its bots to the International, a prolific Dota 2 tournament this coming August. Guys, a paid tournament to watch humans fight AIs, robots? Holy shit. What's this world coming to? Holy crap. The new bots go by the name of OpenAI 5, a reference to the number of neural networks working together in the team. To train the neural networks, the AI has been playing roughly 180 years worth of gameplay every day using reinforcement learning. This enables the AI to learn the intricacies of the game, considering that it is far more complicated than board games like chess and Go. Dota 2, for example, involves hiding data from players, preventing the system from perceiving the entire playing field at a given time. The hardware employed by the research lab that trained OpenAI 5 is impressive, of course. The 5 neural networks trained, though, through a scaled-up version of proximal policy optimization running on 256 GPUs and 128K CPU cores? Woo! Do you understand how powerful that is? Good God. The same setup was adopted on a much smaller scale last year when OpenAI rolled out an artificial intelligence system that proved capable of beating the best Dota 2 players in the world in one-on-one matches. What? Why am I just hearing about this? What? Holy crap. Yeah, that's because IGN doesn't really talk about anything interesting, to be honest, even though I use 2 IGN articles. I always got to have a troll IGN article in there somewhere. Can you believe this fucking shit, though? What? Beating the best Dota 2 players in the world in one-on-one matches? I have to see this. I had to see a whole match of this playing out. This is crazy. Currently, however, OpenAI 5 can only play the game with several restrictions. For one, the AI system can only use 5 of the 115 heroes available in the game. Skills such as invisibility, summons, and the placement of wards are also disabled. The research lab, however, hopes that through time, the neural networks will be able to play the game without any restrictions at all. Yeah, are you really going to handicap an AI? I mean, for the love of God. As could be seen in recent videos shared by the research lab, OpenAI 5 is actually being received well by the Dota 2 community. Down with the bots and games, bro. Fuck you guys. Powerful Dota 2 player Blitz, for one, noted that the bots are adopting strategies that are incredibly effective. In a match against OpenAI 5, Blitz, together with 4 employees of the research lab, put up a fight before getting dominated by the AI. In a statement after the game, Blitz sheepishly stated that the bots capitalized on every small error he made during the match. Now, there is such thing as no one likes to know it all, and then too smart for your own good. That is obviously a very important thing, because it's really hard to outsmart a robot that plays the game every hour of the day compared to a pro who probably plays maybe 12 hours a day or something. Every second counts, but it's really hard for a human being to process when someone makes a small mistake or a big mistake and then to react to it. If an AI can just pick that up no problem with no sweat involved and no stress. There's no human stress, right? It's just a robot. It's just picture Data from Star Trek. I mean, he's an android. It's completely different, but you get the idea. There's no emotion involved. There's no emotion. It's just straight logic and to the point. Kind of like Spock in a way. So, what's the secret behind OpenAI 5? In a statement to The Verge, OpenAI CTO Greg Brockman noted that unlike human players, the bots have no ego. Wow, what do you know? When they played the game, the teamwork aspect of the bots was also trained by allowing them to work individually at first and encouraging them to work together. The bots are totally willing to sacrifice a lane or abandon a hero for the greater good for fun. We had a human drop in to replace one of the bots. We hadn't trained them to do anything special, but he said he just felt so well supported. Anything he wanted, the bots got him. Damn, bots got my back, dog. God, bots got my back, yo. Bots. Bots got my back, yo. Bots getting in the lanes, taking out those summons and those towers and the walls. Going in your base, taking them out. Bots got my back. I drop in with a flat. I get number 1, 2, 3 hotkeys in. Anyway, ultimately, Brockman is encouraged. This is an exciting milestone, and it really is because it's about transitioning, get out of here, bug, to real-life applications. If you got a simulation of a problem and you can run it through a large enough scale, there's no barriers to what you can do. I have to save this article to post in the Discord server. This is freaking insane. Okay, so bots got your back. All right, let's go to the next one. That's incredible that's, oh man. Yeah, you pros suck, dog. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so this is pretty interesting too. Video game sales could go digital, all digital by 2022, analyst firm says. Digital dreams. What is this, some kind of porno? Video game sales are going increasingly digital, but according to financial analysts, there's a chance that 100% of video game sales could go digital by the year 2022. It's only 4 years until we might have to say goodbye to physical discs. Oh, no, I don't think it's going to completely go away. I mean, did it completely go away with books? I know there's been Kindles and like iPads and just any type of electronic device to read, but it never got rid of physical books. Never got rid of it. And I understand that the market for hardcover books are probably down. Probably. I don't know the statistics exactly. But people like me, or people that like holding like an actual thing and reading the pages, are the people that inspire authors to go with physical books, go with hardcovers, go with paperback. So I seriously doubt digital. It's going to be all digital for video games by 2022. Like I said, it's been going. With books, it hasn't happened yet. With games, it's been going on, and I don't see why developers would do that. Because what are they going to do with collector's edition? Because collector's editions make them a butt ton of money. And all those different editions, I understand that Ubisoft has like gold, platinum, deluxe, but they also have that in physical as well. And then they got those big collector's editions with all the cool memorabilia and fan stuff. And they make a killing on that stuff. Sells like hotcakes. So I really doubt that video games are going to go digital with that in mind. Okay, so let's just read the article. It is a certainty that video games will be approximately 100% digital in the coming years. While exact timing is hard to pinpoint, we think 2022 is a realistic expectation. Okay, so let's find out why he's so certain. This is a bold statement to make. Oh, it's a short-ass article, but that's good. Analyst predictions are a dime a dozen. However, Piper Jaffrey's report mostly highlights how an all-digital revenue future for video games could increase the margins of companies like Activision, Blizzard, and EA. Well, Blizzard is the only one that... Blizzard's fine, but God, fuck you, Activision, EA. Which the report says could see a boost in operating margins by 10% within 5 years if things go as planned. Take-Two Interactive, which owns Rockstar and 2K Games, is singled out as a company well poised for all digital, presumably based on the success of GTA Online. Okay, that's just one game, but okay. Not even a whole game. It's just an additional part of the game. At the same time, rumors that next-gen gaming could rely heavily on streaming games, and Microsoft's announcement that it's looking into streaming technology on any devices could suggest that streaming is something to seriously consider in the near future. Even Ubisoft's CEO believes that after the next-gen hardware, streaming is the big play for video game developers. Okay. Again, these reports are written on the expectations of analysts who are looking for ways their investments can yield greater returns, but that doesn't mean that there's no truth to these reports either. Exactly. Based on the announcements of various video game companies, streaming is clearly on the minds of industry leaders, as with the Sony dream of 2013 might die after all. Okay. So, this article didn't really answer anything. Didn't really state why there's a certainty that streaming games are just going to go all digital in 2022. It's just all speculation. Like, how can you analysts? What are you analyzing? Possibilities, maybes, coulds, realistic expectation. There's no hard proof here. It's just a bullshit article. Just some guy just trying to write something just to fit his quota for the month. Nothing is certain here. Like I said, with games going completely digital, it's not going to happen. Just because Take-Two Interactive and Activision and Blizzard, of course they're gonna do it, because these are companies that capitalize on loot crates and all this controversial shit that go on. Because these are the companies, well, besides Blizzard knows what they're doing, but the Activision type part of it, and EA, and then Rockstar, these are guys that are all about microtransactions, all about the online stuff. They're specifically alienating physical stuff to go with their streaming platforms, and that's why they always announce, and obviously Xbox is supposedly looking into this, and that's why they always announce something new for Origins or some type of online hub system or something, and it never pays off. It never pays off for them. Like, we want to make Origins the best experience you'll ever have. It's never going to happen because you're EA. No one gives a shit about your Origins. People hate Origins. People hate it. I'm telling you, nobody is going to give up wanting to make digital a completely permanent thing. This is just 2 companies or 3 companies doing it. You know how many video game developers are out there? How many video game companies are out there? Like, it's unfathomable. Even indie developers make physical copies for games because they just like doing it. They do it out of they do it out of fun. Obviously, it earns them an extra penny or two. But it also, they understand what it takes to make these in factories, all the cost of making physicals. I get it. But that's why they make those indie games physical later on in the road, and they release it digitally first. But to say, like, are you serious? Like, you're gonna tell me that Nintendo's gonna go full digital? You're gonna tell me that Bethesda's going full digital? You're gonna tell me that Santa Monica Studio is gonna go full digital? Squaresoft? No fucking way! No way! No way! Look, they're still selling DVDs, for fuck's sake. They're still selling DVDs, and there's Blu-rays out there. They're still selling HD TVs, and there's 4K. They're still selling physical books, and there's Kindles out there. Okay? So, please, when you write an article and you call yourself an analyst, please don't say things like it's certainty that this will be approximately 100%. That's a load of fucking bullshit. That's like a scare tactic, thinking that, it's the end of the world for people who want physical stuff. I get it. Digital is super easy. Digital is great. But there are still a ton of people that love to get the physical things for games. I mean, get this. PC, all of it's digital. That's fine. That's normal. But did it bring game? Okay, like I said, PC's been digital for a long, long time. And there used to be physicals there's still physicals for PC games. There's still physicals even back then for the old games. But did it get rid of it? Did it get rid of it entirely? No, it didn't. They still make physical PC games out there. They're still selling battle chests for Diablo and every Blizzard, Counter-Strike, whatever, in Walmart, in Target. So to say that that's going to be a thing is a load of crap. It's a load of crap. In PC, it's like saying that PC makes physical games for like consoles just a thing in the past, just left in the dirt. Nope, it didn't. But consoles are finally learning how to make that profit off of that, which is completely fine if you want to have both. But I'm telling you, EA doesn't know anything about anything. They're literally the dumbest company on the planet. They're totally unreliable. I mean, you just check out my YouTube channel. I talk all about it. It's ridiculous about all the disappointing things they do. They don't know what they're doing. They honestly don't know how to be a good business. The only golden goose that they have, the only golden eggs they have, is their stupid sports games that you guys, for some reason, always have to buy for a roster update. You always have to buy it. It's the stupidest thing ever. But everything else that EA makes, like shooters or RPGs, they're terrible. They're terrible. Battlefront 2, Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, come on. Those are just the prime 2 examples. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Of course, EA is going to try to find any way to help them regain what they lost. They lost a ton of money. Their stocks went down by a huge margin. Huge margin. And you know what? Take-Two isn't going to get rid of digital games. I'm sorry. It's not going to get rid of digital games. And GTA Online is not just a digital game. You can't consider GTA Online its own thing when it's a part of the actual game of GTA 5. You just can't. I'm sorry, if GTA Online was a specific thing on its own where you actually spend hard-earned cash or whatever, porn money, to buy it separately, if it was sold separately in stores or online, then we can use this as part of the argument, as part of the analysis. But it's not. It's a part of the GTA 5 package. So best of both worlds. So as soon as we start seeing GTA Online being its own thing, then we can be like, okay, yeah, maybe it'll help with shaping the bell curve on games going completely digital or whatever. But it's such a load of crap. Such a load of crap. And Take-Two, I'm like, come on. You know how many physical copies they sell of games when they're like Rockstar comes out with their games like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption? Like, holy shit. And can you imagine how much money Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to make on consoles, physicals? They're going to sell like hotcakes and digitally. Both platforms make a butt ton of money still. If there is a huge marginal gap of making a good profit, a sale. If it's a huge night or day difference, then I completely understand. I would believe this more. But just look at this article. Just look at this goddamn article. Look how tiny it is. There's no charts or anything. It could if games got a lot smaller in file size and our internet infrastructure improves on. Very doubtful. Yes. Do not have. Okay. If it happens, I'm still. Pretty much, yeah. Data caps. That's going to happen eventually. So okay, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's already facing the end of the world. I only read a few comments, so that's not going to really determine much. So I apologize about that. But wait, there was actually a comment that PlayStation is doing their streaming service, and I haven't even touched it really once on my PlayStation 4. They have their own streaming service where you can stream all these different games. I haven't even touched it. Maybe I will if I want to go back and play old games or something, or just have unlimited streaming. But it's just not the same, man. I want to have that exclusive right to the game. I don't want to have where it's this only streaming to where the companies still own the game. No, I'm a goddamn consumer. I want to own this shit my own by earning it. I want to earn this by working hard at a job or earning my own type of currency and then buying the rights to own this game. It's mine. Microsoft tried to do this when the Xbox One before it came out. Remember, they wanted to only have one copy per person. And if you want someone else to borrow it, they had to purchase the rights from it, purchase the license. Do you remember that bullshit? And then they changed that completely, and then people got upset that they changed it. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? What the hell is wrong with consumers these days? It's ridiculous. So I'm glad it's not like that, but Xbox is going to try, Microsoft and EA are seriously the dumbest companies when it comes to marketing. They don't know how to make good exclusives. They don't know how to make good games. They really, really don't. And we've seen it so many times. I would know. I'm an Xbox. I was a huge Xbox fanboy, but now I'm Sony and PC and for love of God, Nintendo as well, because Nintendo knows how to make good games. Still. So there's just so much proof behind that. Do I have the stats? No. Anyway, let's get to our last article. All right, so this one is just a guy that's just whining. Getting bored and walking away is how most games end for me now. Then why are you buying the same fucking types of games, you idiot? Anyway, I want to be respectful first, but still, I hate people that say stuff like this. They're so ignorant. They're just looking for something to meet their quota for the month. Gonna write an article about bullshit. Last week, I realized I have a problem. You might as well see a therapist at that point. Anyway, I just finished browsing the Nintendo Switch entire eShop for a second time in search of a new game. That's a weird thing to do, especially considering that I still haven't finished Breath of the Wild. Hey, Skondors! I haven't seen you in a while, friend. Holy crap, it's been a long time since you've been here. What's up, man? Welcome. We're just doing the last article for the NIKO show, so hope you enjoy. I'm affiliated, by the way, too, so you can see all the nice little trinkets I got on the channel. Let's see. I should finish it, but I can't bring myself to do it. Hours and hours and hours later, I'm bored. Sounds like a person that gambles too much. Never gets enough. Always wants to go back for more. That's just called gambling. Addiction. You're an addict. That's what you are. Nothing makes you happy. Anyway, around the same time, I came across a tweet that seemed like it was about my situation. The reason I hate modern open world games, especially ones that can theoretically keep going forever with meaningless spawns like in Skyrim, is because the game's end state becomes when you get bored. I have a teetering stack of great but never-ending games: Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Far Cry 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, Middle-earth, Shadow of War, every Grand Theft Auto, and yes, Skyrim. I'm about to finally start Assassin's Creed Origins. And despite the good things I've heard about it, I'm worried that it will end up on my attention span's cutting room floor as well. There isn't another piece complaining about how games are too long these days. Rather, I want to talk about what happens when our personal endings for games are after a game are a tepid, non-committal. Well, I guess I'm done with that. No fond farewells, no heroic final acts, not even satisfying credit sequence. Just the nondescript silence after you turn the television off. Now that I can understand. That I don't like in open world games that do that. I don't like it when it doesn't have that awesome climactic ending and it doesn't give you the satisfying credit roll. You know, that I can completely understand. That is fine, because I'm like that too. There's certainly an appeal to games that refuse to end no matter how much you yell at them that you have a life, friends, and a houseplant to attend to. Most obviously, the gamer masses want bang for their buck, raw content piped directly into your audiovisual orifices. But there's more to it than that. Endings can be hard. Sometimes they subvert expectations or ruin the way they're perceived, a game and its characters. At the very least, they signal, well, an end. The adventure's over, it's time to say goodbye. I remember when I was a kid, I purposely held off on finishing games like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy X2, and Wind Waker for months after getting within spitting distance of their final encounters. Similarly, I hated things like the ending to Cowboy Bebop, which is not a video game, but which had an ending so definitive that it made it hard for me to fantasize about more adventures happening afterward. Even now, I still feel overwhelmed with sadness when I'm about to finish a good book. That I can understand, but that's perfectly normal. That makes you just want to watch the show again and really respect it. It takes balls to end something like that, you know, it really does. There's something decidedly youthful about an aversion to endings. When we're kids, we have so much more capacity to immerse ourselves in things, to obsess over them and explore their most obscure depths, to think about them endlessly, even when we're not directly experiencing them. So of course we don't want those things to end. Letting go is never easy, but it doesn't descend below the difficulty level of basically impossible until we've been forced to do it a few times. Who doesn't, as a kid, search for Missing Note in Pokemon Red or Blue, or try to find the Triforce under the castle in Ocarina of Time? Oh my god, I remember that. For me, those things served as proof that those games went on forever, that they were real magical places and not just digital constructs with finite bounds. Nowadays, there's a much higher level of general game literacy, and people data mine the crap out of games to discover their exact limits. It's harder to believe that games are portals to other universes. Where was I? I lost my thing. Oh, even now, though the desire for games to stretch on forever persists, YouTube channels like The Game Theorists have found massive success in analyzing the lore of games like Five Nights at Freddy's, Fortnite, and Undertale, replacing the traditional notion of video game secrets with infinite speculative breadcrumb trails. The older I've gotten, though, the more I've come to crave closure in games. Great endings give you just as much to chew on as stories that go on forever. I still think about the decisions I made in Pyre and how they played out in conjunction with, and most importantly, against my good intentions. Celeste's conclusion will probably stick with me for years. That game did more in 8 hours than most games do in 100. Everything, a game about everything. Wouldn't have hit me anywhere near as hard if it hadn't decided practically of its own accord to end. I have plenty of fond memories of the times I spent playing gigantic games, but closure isn't involved. Instead, clouds of dull gray hang over those memories. And when I think about resuming games, I find it hard to convince myself to take the plunge. I remember first walking in Breath of the Wild's gorgeous world. I remember trying to bypass the Lost Woods with a speed running trick I saw on Twitter. I remember adopting a dog. I remember feeling my heart pound on my chest as I approached the Master Sword. I felt like a kid again. Like when I first yanked it from the pedestal in Ocarina of Time and everything changed. But I also remember the moment I got bored, the bummer ending to my personal adventure. I remember when Breath of the Wild told me I needed to collect more hearts before I could pull the Master Sword. And after 50 some odd hours doing all sorts of other stuff, I felt a familiar malaise creep over me. You know what? I said to myself, I'm not really feeling this anymore. So, that was a mouthful. Okay, I completely get what this guy's saying. I understand that. I understand that a lot of open world games don't have really good endings, but there are some out there that really do. I completely understand it. Open world games are definitely the most difficult to have a good storyline or just good endings. Mass Effect Andromeda had a shitty storyline. Breath of the Wild had the worst storyline out of all the Zelda games because it was open world and it was just there really wasn't too much. There really wasn't compared to. It's like, oh, the Guardians. Okay, you just go to a dungeon and they're alive. That's it. What was I gonna say? Horizon Zero Dawn has the most I guess from what I heard from Dishonored Wolf or what I saw that he said the video or the story is just boring and tedious and not that great of an open world game. What other? Far Cry 5 didn't really have that good of a story, but it had great gameplay. But it's a really long game. Skyrim had a horrible story, but it was a really fun game to explore and do quests in. So yeah, I completely understand that. I understand where he's coming from. But with me, I played Breath of the Wild for a long time, and I loved the game. I thought it was one of the reason why I was able to tolerate the crappiest of stories for a Zelda game, because it was like way too simple. But it's because the open world games this open world had so much to offer, and so many surprises and so many random elements that went on in the game that you would never encounter more than once. It was hard to encounter the same thing in the game more than once. And it was just such a well-designed game. The gameplay was solid. The graphics were really great. The music was awesome. The level building was amazing. There was just so many cool things. It's one of the most intelligent games I've ever played when it comes to physics and just quality of life stuff happening. Skyrim for me was the same, although there was a lot of stuff in Skyrim that they should have had in originally that modders decided to put in to make it better. But I still had a blast playing Skyrim. I beat that game. I played it for 50 hours. It's not like I got bored of it. It's just that, well, I did get bored of it. Once you beat the game and you kind of do all the missions and stuff, the end game stuff is really boring. That's why they make expansions, though, to kind of keep that audience. But Persona 5, Persona is just notoriously known to be really long. That it was designed to be that long. It's over a 90+ hour game. And then Middle Earth Shadow of War, it's the same thing with open world. It's just like open world games are really hit or miss. They are really difficult to make interesting. You have to have so many awesome things to take your attention, to surprise you. You have to have something interesting for the gamer to have like every 30 seconds to keep his attention on. Horizon Zero Dawn's open world isn't that interesting. It's really boring. There's really not that many interesting things that go on in the world. It's a very barren open world game. But Skyrim and Breath of the Wild have real-time stuff that happens, so you can be on the other side of the whole level of the whole continent, and then on the other side there could be a village getting attacked by dragons or bandits raiding caravans or something. And we've seen that in Skyrim and Breath of the Wild. That's why I like those games so much. They're not staged. They're random elements. They're real-time elements. All the other RPGs are like that. I don't know if Witcher 3 had random elements, real-time elements like that. But the thing what made Witcher 3 so amazing that it was such a such a well-designed story and game, and their writers are amazing. And then the ending was satisfying. It was fun to beat that game. It was great. It was a satisfying ending. Now, Dragon Age Inquisition wasn't that great. It was just like, oh, oh, that's no problem, Skondorus. But I appreciate you stopping by. Take care. I hope to see you again. No problem. But Dragon Age Inquisition was one of those things. You beat the guy, and then there's no end game. It just gyms out, and then you're back in your home base, and there's no credits rolling. What is that shit? So I understand, but this guy needs to just not buy open world games anymore, if that's the case. You're wasting your money. Now, Persona 5 is not an open world game, but it's a notoriously well-known to be long game. But Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, Middle Earth, Shadow of War, Skyrim, Assassin's Creed Origins. Don't buy those games if you know you're going to get bored of it. Buy linear games. Buy linear RPGs, shooters, and all that. This isn't rocket science. If you sense a pattern, just fucking stop doing it. Just stop doing it. But I agree with him on, like I said, I agree with him on the part where he's talking about that, yeah, open world games don't have enough interesting things in them to keep me my attention within it, and then the ending is what really matters too. And sadly, Breath of the Wild's ending wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. because it did the whole cliche like, oh yeah, we did it, and then it dims out, and they're like, okay, here we go, no credits, no freaking credits. Nothing as epic as Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess or Wind Waker. Nothing epic like that, you know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. This has been the NikoTheLegend, Niko Show, episode 22. Like I said, I've been your host, and I hope, like, if you did like what you saw today, please follow me on the Twitch channel. Check out my other platform on YouTube. And then, like I said, if you liked what you saw, if you want to help me out with the channel and get some currency going, you can always donate. You can always do the cheers and everything. But just any type of support you guys show is always amazing. So, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.